Yo, what's good, bro? I almost wow, you can really hear him in the background. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Turn that down. I did not real. I mean, it's right there, but
Oh yeah.
didn't really realize how much it picked up on. But
Can't really close this either.
I would. I mean, no, it's still gonna.
Yeah.
It's still
Oh
gonna.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay because
What
I
happened?
almost crashed out.
Oh.
I kid you not, an hour before we started, EMP, the whole crib, TV went out, work laptop, like internet was just going. I'm
Whoa.
just like of course on Wednesday.
At this time, not even in the
Yes,
yeah.
we're so honestly we should be good. All right, all right, all right.
All right.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah, it was good, DE. Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, we should be up and running. But without further ado, we about to get into today. Appreciate everybody coming through. KSI and Richie Rich in the building.
Oh.
Bro said KSI.
Oh my god. What's that song he just dropped?
I don't.
You heard it? I know you heard
No.
it.
I was
down in the gym.
I was just playing Jello's joint.
Oh yeah.
I got out of the chorus. I was like, all right, that's enough of that. I can't take no more.
Whoa.
Oh,
It's a good song.
It's a banger?
It is, yeah. It's like, oh man, I don't want to make this comparison. I get flamed. It's like 2000s Memphis.
Right.
Not, I was gonna say like Wayne, but it's not like Wayne.
No.
Definitely not touching that. But it's good. I think it's good.
No, I mean honestly, that's
like
valid.
I don't want this to come off the wrong way. For like a Nepo baby,
Yeah,
it's a good song.
Yeah.
Like people are not gonna take him seriously because he grew up in
right
a nice household and shit.
Honestly, I see the vision. I see like if it fits. But I don't know if that's because like music is starting to go like making full circle again.
I think
so
it
now,
is, yeah, because
we've been deprived of that for what like almost over a decade.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That style. So now like it's something old school. Now it's like in.
Well, because I'm trying to. Yeah, it's been well over it.
Yeah, it's been probably. Almost
I feel like before Boosie went to jail like the first time.
Yeah.
I think it like almost like stopped with him, and then everyone got into like their SoundCloud wave and stuff like that. Yeah, so it might be coming back around. Everything does fashion, sports. I mean, they throw throwback jerseys and stuff like that.
Yeah, baggy clothes are now back in style. Before I used to get flamed because it's like, why are you wearing stuff?
Yeah. Like, the fat-toed shoes and stuff too. I'm like, damn,
come on, man! I used to get cooked for stuff like that.
If I wore that like my freshman year, they would have been like, "This dude's probably shopping at Dollar Tree or something." I'm like, damn.
Come on, man! We was getting. Oh, you shop at J.C. Penney. Now look at the joint.
Your mom get that at Macy's?
It is wild.
Man.
It's wild how things have changed. All right, so DE asked. All right, the real question is Monday. Will the Bible touch of hearts of Notre Dame fans in a way differently than Notre Dame priests touch their players?
Whoa. I know listen, he's an Ohio State fan. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But time and a place. That was,
So, I don't know.
But we'll talk about the game because I think it's gonna be a good one. But I think it's pretty clear who's taking it.
So I asked the question, who will win the Natty, Ohio State and Notre Dame? But I'm actually mad because I found a better question that will actually make you sit here and contemplate. Your life choice. So to go with the original question I asked, who will win the Natty? I got Ohio State.
I do too. Yeah,
Notre Dame might actually.
Yeah, but there's just so much momentum. At the end of that game.
Yeah.
Texas was just like, here
yeah, literally.
You guys want to win?
Right, like, just put us out of our misery.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, God, we'll talk about Penn State. Jesus. And DE said, Jesus versus Catholics, just saying.
What was the 30 for 30? Catholics versus convicts?
I think.
Notre Dame, Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
Catholics versus convicts.
That's how they coined the 30 for 30, yeah. I don't even remember what.
So we
I don't know. So I think we just grazed past it. I feel like that probably wouldn't.
So we're just gonna skip over. You know what? Fair.
I'm trying to remember who was on that team.
Fair enough. Convicts.
I think they played a tough style of football, so it was like, yeah, let's throw that there. I dare them to shut that down.
I definitely need to see who's on that roster.
I do too.
Yeah, that might actually.
I think it was in the 90s. I'm trying to remember who it was, but yeah, I'm like
that might explain a lot.
Yeah.
So basically, my question that I saw earlier that I couldn't even really pick an answer for because I was trying to figure it out. All right, so you're an NBA GM. You have 15 years to win as many chips as possible.
Okay.
Out of these two players, who would you rather build your franchise around? Out of these two.
Okay.
You got Russ, Kyrie.
Is it we're taking them in their prime? Like we're drafting them and we're going through their whole career. Oh, okay.
Seeing what we see now, project. I mean, obviously you would probably go with Kyrie because he won.
I was gonna say,
but you gotta think he wasn't winning due to how that roster was constructed.
So it's like a double-edged
sword.
Yeah. So you take Kyrie, you know he's probably better suited. I don't know if I would say he's better suited to lead a team. Like we saw what Russ was in OKC without really a lot of help.
Well, you saw what he was before and after help.
Yeah,
you saw did.
So if we're looking to build a roster around one of them, obviously you're going to want to get good people around them. But I'd probably go Kyrie. I would say. I mean, his body of work. The Celtics thing didn't work out. I feel like it could have. I don't know. I would trust Kyrie more so.
I mean, I sort of kind of want to go Russ because, I mean, if you just pay the man, he's loyal as hell.
He is, yeah.
I mean, did he win a lot of games? Yes. Did he also lose you a lot of games? Yes.
People forget. I mean, that was just insanity.
The
triple double after triple double.
But the Utah Jazz blunder. I don't know what the hell was going on with that series. That was just a bad series.
That was, yeah.
Around, as if they just handed the Jazz
and there was so much momentum and hype around it.
Controversy.
And it just kind of
fell
on its face.
But then you also got the Portland games as well. And so if I had to pick between one or the other, we thinking career, give me Russ. Maybe, I mean, I feel like they've both been injured as much as the other one has. So
Kyrie's had his knee issues frequently. Russ had his issues.
Season.
Yeah. They're obviously you can't go wrong, but I'd just give the edge to Kyrie.
Yeah, I'll go Russ. So I might get cooked
in the
chat.
That's fair.
But all right, without further ado, man, let's get started. Definitely appreciate everybody who is in the chat chilling with us. If anybody wants to chime in, got comments to say or anything, please feel free to tune in. Right now we got Knicks versus Philly. Yeah, that's gonna be another stat sheet stuffer for the Knicks. But honestly, let's get into college, bro.
Yeah.
So we did our picks last week, and I think one of them hit. The Ohio State hit.
Yes, Ohio State hit.
Penn State flopped.
We both took Penn State, didn't we?
I think
we did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both.
I don't know. I had a good feeling about them, but
so I didn't realize that they were gonna do as poorly as they did.
Yeah.
The quarterback could not hit his receivers.
No completed passes to a receiver in the game.
I don't know if it's just if he I remember he was trying to hit his wide receiver down the seam and it just went over his head.
Yeah.
I don't know if he just threw it too early.
Miscommunication, what they usually call it.
But all 4 quarters?
Yeah, I know. It was frequent.
So
it was the running back game, and it was, I think, a couple to the tight end's nasty there. I forget, 44 or something like that. But yeah, I was just, and I don't think I even paid attention during the game. I'm like, damn, he's not hitting any receivers. And then they were like, he didn't complete any pass.
Right.
I was like, oh.
No, because I was looking too. I was just like, okay, some place he did get rushed, some were incomplete. But then when I sat back and I actually looked at the highlights, miscommunication all around. His receivers weren't even ready for the ball.
No.
I don't even know if they were looking for the ball.
It was just
horrible.
Honestly, that game could not have gone any worse for them in that spot. You needed a big game and you didn't.
Right.
You didn't get close.
So DE is saying right now, hear me out. I don't know what he's about to say. But actually, shout out to him because the Saturday game between the Ravens and the Steelers, they were actually live.
Oh,
and
okay.
I know a bunch of pissed off Steelers fans were in those comments because based off of what was how Russ was playing, and we'll talk about it too.
Yeah, we will.
Because we definitely got it entitled. So he said Marcus Freeman, DC for Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, Marcus Freeman, defensive coordinator for Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm surprised he's not gotten any offers yet or any interviews. I think something came out about the Bears, but you know how they just say, I don't know if they're actually going to interview him. But he's probably going to get some offers soon. But he's only like 37, 38. So.
I mean, honestly, I get it because you want to get your foot in the door with a head coaching position. But if I'm anybody, I'm not going to Chicago.
No.
I mean, that's really where your career will end more so than it will start.
The only one I could argue for that I could see taking would be like Cliff Kingsbury because he worked with Caleb in college and he's been a head coach before. He didn't have a lot of success, but I could see him doing that since him and Caleb have the connection, try to get Caleb in the right direction. I mean, but it's a mess.
I would much rather stay where he's at in Arizona. I mean, because Washington.
Yeah, OC in Washington. Yeah,
where you can see where I'm still at. Yo, it's been what 2?
What that was
2 seasons?
Yeah, because he took his. Well, he did the Thailand trip, which was like the one-way ticket. I think
that was the season after. I think when Philly went 10-6, I think that was the next.
They bounced him, I think, in 22, and then 23. I think he took a year off.
Okay, so it was
Dan Quinn brought him on. This year.
So it was the year after Philly.
Yeah,
went to the Super Bowl.
I think that's how it worked. Yeah.
Yo, what's good, Miles? Yo, what's good, bro? We just started. We're talking about how Penn State just. What's a good way to put it?
Fumbled's the easy word to use, but I mean, just
more explicit than fumble.
Yeah.
But so then going back, then we had Ohio State and Texas. That was a very close game.
It was a close game, and like we said when we opened it, Texas just kind of decided they didn't want to win, and they just handed it off.
Handed them the.
And I have one little bone to pick with Quinn Ewers because he fumbles, or it was the freak play that he fumbled and then Jack Sawyer takes it back. That pretty much ended the game. After that play, Quinn goes up to him and goes like, "Damn you, dog," or whatever, and starts laughing. I guess they've been friends for a while. But it also makes me think, I'm like, yeah, you just lost like the game before the Natty and you just laughed. Like you're like, oh man, you really got me that one. I don't like that.
No, I get it. I think a lot of times too, like when you're in the moment, you're not really thinking outside, like the outside perception of a lot of stuff. That's why when I was pissed off when Avonte Maddox and Mike Evans were
Fortnite.
Yeah, talking about Fortnite.
Yeah, you still play Fortnite.
And then we were getting killed.
He was like game. At will, just running all over the field.
Right, and it was just like. I'm like, bro, this is the wrong time that I would want you.
This is a pregame or a postgame conversation.
Come on now,
middle of the game,
right?
Where's the fire? Like, where's like the competitive
exactly?
Spirit? It didn't exist.
But not to get off topic. I think in the moment, no one's really thinking about it because it's on the field. In their mind, it's like it runs deep for them, but not as deep as we're seeing on the outside looking in because it's easy for us to say, like, as fans, like, oh, I wouldn't talk to you because, but then at the same time, after the game's over, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and it's, some people have a problem with it. Some people had a big problem with it. Right. It was more of just like, kind of raised my eyebrow. I'm like,
wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. Why are we laughing? Like, oh, damn, good job, man.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah. I think he was kind of checked out too. He's going to the league. They've been wanting Arch since Arch walked through the building.
And that's fair. That's honestly fair to say, too, as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. DE said, you giving me Trevor Lawrence smiles? That's funny. Yeah, bro gonna have a brain aneurysm before that happens. But, so now we have Ohio State and Notre Dame.
This seems like a good place to pick Ohio State. You never know, but
and it's funny too because I asked the question last week. I was like, "Who does the NCAA want to see?" Because we were going with our picks, and I gave the slight nod to Penn State to do the rematch, but thank God. Yeah. But who you think Notre Dame's a Cinderella team on this one?
I think they have been up to this point, you could say, but I just think it ends. I mean, Ohio State's just playing really well.
Yeah.
And I know even DE probably has his own opinions about Ryan Day. I wouldn't say he's done this all himself. I mean, they've just played well. Right. But if he wins a national championship, man, they were calling for this dude's head.
Oh,
like,
100%. Oh, yeah.
Like
he
2 months ago.
No, he was too.
The comments were crazy. You would have thought this dude, like, did some, like, some, like, unspeakable things. Right. But if he wins, I know obviously all's going to be forgiven. But right. I think they're okay with this matchup. I mean, it's going to be a good game. So
this man said Jesus is versus Catholics again.
Oh, man.
That is funny. But yeah, shout out to him because, again, I was watching some of his live stream during the game, and yeah, they were just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely talk about that. As a fan, I don't trust Ryan Day.
That's fair. It would be on par for him the biggest game of the year, just coaching blunder, get out coached by Marcus Freeman. But yeah, like I said, we'll see.
Did you see anything as far as basketball?
No, there was a comment. I don't know if you saw the Brandon Jennings Tatum thing. Did you see that at all?
How he's the most softest champion in the league.
And it's like people say it. It's okay. It really, honestly, I wasn't like, oh yeah, fuck, like Brandon Jennings, but also like from a guy that had an okay career. He played well in Milwaukee. Didn't win anything though. That's the problem there.
So Gil's podcast, I'll watch like a lot of clips of it and stuff. Honestly, Ocho Cinco and Brandon Jennings, when it comes to certain topics, they miss the point.
Yeah.
And that right there, to me, I don't see how Tatum is soft, maybe because he's always calling for a foul. I blame that more of a generational thing.
Yeah, he just picked out of a crowd.
Right.
There's a lot of players that do the same thing.
Right.
You could say LeBron does. Are you going to call LeBron soft? Because he's always looking for the foul.
I mean, bro been looking for that while he was in the league.
Yeah. So I mean, before he was in the league and after. I mean, he went through the whole generation.
Right.
I just think he's the wrong person to probably bring that up.
Yeah.
But
so DE said, I saw Cavs got 120 points equals a free large fry from McDonald's. Maybe that's why they're winning. Yeah, and the only team that took them down was the doggone Pacers, and then they beat them last night.
Yeah, the Pacers, they always do that. They're weird. You might get a good game out of it. I mean, they beat the Celtics to begin the season. That was the first loss the Celtics got.
I think all Indiana or Indianapolis teams, basketball, football, they're just on that weird. Like, again, the Colts. Anthony Richardson was looking bad. Joe Flacco came in looking like prime Flacco.
Yeah.
Then he fell off.
Yeah.
Richardson got him a game. Then he fell off. Then they needed one game, lost it in OT.
They really blundered that after the Patriots game. There was a lot of momentum. Richardson went down the field like 80 yards in the game. They went for 2. They got it. And then you're like, okay, this is cool. Like, they're going to pick up momentum. And then right down. Indiana's definitely been middling in like the...
Yeah, because I think when season first started, like first month or so, they were even top 5. They were like below,
yeah.
They weren't even top 5, and now they came back. The month of December, they were 11-5,
which is the same thing for them. Last year, you go to the conference championship game. They took the Celtics to the limit in each of those games. I mean, it was double overtime in one of them. I mean, all the games were close, and now, then they kind of middled around the beginning of the season. They beat good teams. They beat Cleveland. They beat Boston. So I don't know what you do with them.
Right. But to go back to the podcast with Gil's Arena, they were talking about why the NBA was so you can't really watch the NBA, and a lot of it had to do with scoring. And he was saying that a lot of teams are taking 120 something more threes, but they're only making like under 50.
Yeah.
And then Brandon Jennings is like, well, why not? He didn't see a problem with the inflation
of threes,
like the inflated numbers. Yeah, he didn't have a problem with it because he's like, well, just keep shooting.
Which is the mindset that they all have, and that's why we're here.
But then I'm just like, you're contributing to the cause of why the NBA is so unwatchable because of the amount of threes that every team is taking. So he's like, all these teams have schemes to shoot, but they don't have shooters.
Yeah.
His process was, just keep shooting. Oh, because they don't have it on the scouting report that you're a shooter, so keep shooting.
Yeah.
I said that doesn't make any sense because you're making it like, who's Joe Schmo taking 15 threes?
Yeah,
he's taking more threes than the shooter.
Yeah.
Than the starter.
Yeah.
Who's actually equipped to shoot threes.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Keep shooting.
And I will be honest, I love Joe Mazzulla, but Mazzulla ball is keep shooting. the ball will go in.
Yeah, they were getting on Derek White about that.
Yeah, and that's how they run. That's how they run. Yeah, I mean they run that offense, and it's like keep shooting. But it also the era of like the sharpshooter three has kind of gone away because everyone takes threes. Right. There's no Kyle Korver, Stojakovic. I mean, these guys like were known to like sit in the corner and knock it in.
Right.
Rajah Bell back in the day, Petrus was hitting threes. I mean, there was a bunch of guys, and now it's just like, yeah, everyone's doing the same thing, and it makes it unwatchable, like you said.
Right.
But yeah, I can see where you have the issue with like that doesn't make sense. I don't know. He's pushing the narrative.
So the only thing that I have to say about the NBA, DE, I will get to your comment in a second about the speed run this. The only thing I have to say about it, Paul George got more slander in the media, but he was actually speaking facts with this one. So this All-Star break, they're actually playing more games. So they're all going to be competitive.
Okay.
So they're not really getting to rest this All-Star game. They're trying to make it more entertaining, more viewable, be able to watch it to attain and retain more viewers. And he hated that because these are your 3 days to chill as a player, and now I'm having to actually sit here and actually have to give some form of effort when I'm supposed to be coasting, and not resting. So long story short, moving forward, if this is a thing to see, more injuries.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So
I agree with that too. Yeah,
that's all I got. So he said, "If only you give me 2007 Allen Robinson last year." Oh, okay. Oh, a beast. Back in the day, his fall off is so crazy.
Jacksonville Allen Robinson. Jeez. Oh my god. Who was the other Allen? Allen Hearns too. Yeah, like a 1,200 yard reception year. Disappeared, gone.
Oh yeah, that was
And that wasn't even good Jacksonville years. I don't know if Bortles was throwing in the ball. I don't remember who was doing it. It may have been Gabbert, but
I almost said Chad Henne.
Oh, he could have. He was.
They had a terrible. It's so crazy because after it was like each of those years, didn't the backup go to a championship winning team?
There was a stretch of that, because it was like Henne, and then it was Gabbert went to the Chiefs and Gabbert went to the Bucks and won a championship.
Right.
Yeah, they just all.
Jeez. Oh, it was Bortles?
It was Bortles. Okay.
Okay. Chad Henne, a Super Bowl champ.
He came in what was the game that Mahomes got hurt? It was against Jacksonville, I think, in the divisional. Remember that? Was that like 2 years ago?
Ankle?
That was the year you guys played him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the ankle, and then Chad Henne came in.
Oh, yeah, and he stunk it up.
Yeah.
He was our last hope.
And then Mahomes came back, and he was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing, and I don't mean to get too off topic, but the thing with Mahomes is high ankle sprain, and he missed a practice or two. Are you sure you had a high ankle sprain?
Yeah.
He's not a Superman. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get it, but
I think our theory was he just loaded it up with so much cortisone.
Could have been, yeah.
To the point where you probably just like, I don't care to not feel my own foot.
Yeah.
Or something.
Which, I mean, he's had ankle injuries, so I mean, I don't know if that's going to catch up to him in 5-6 years.
Probably.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
The more you keep shooting it up with cortisone, it's like your body like forgets it's there, so it's still doing damage, but yeah, I don't know.
So honestly, bro, we're just gonna go straight to football. So I think 2 of my picks did not land.
We took the Chargers. Did you? You didn't take the? Yeah, we both took the Chargers, and I think half the country took the Chargers.
So
where to begin with that?
Can we keep it a buck? Is Justin Herbert is he overrated?
I don't know.
I mean, because this is the second time in a row, or maybe second or third season in a row, we give him his flowers. We say that he's a top 10, top 8 quarterback in the NFL. But when it's time for him, is it more so just him or is it the team?
I don't know. So to begin with, he throws 3 picks all year, and then he throws 4 in the divisional. And then the wild card round. That's bad.
Right.
He threw more picks in one game than he had all season in the game that counts.
Mm-hmm.
And you go back to the other game that you could point at, which was the Jacksonville wild card round when they lost. That wasn't maybe also on him. The defense just let Jacksonville come all the way back, but he was also on that team. the coach didn't help. But I think there's something to be said for him. I wouldn't say he's overrated. I wouldn't say he's like trash, but between like, the Quentin Johnson stuff, we all know he can't catch a flu. I mean, he's just like, we've literally talked about this over and over again, how I don't understand how he's on this roster.
It is crazy too, because I think they had a primetime game. I forget if it was a Sunday or Monday night. Bro was throwing the ball, I swear, 3 or 4 times within like the first 2 quarters, and he caught the ball once out of all those attempts. I was like, bro, how do you not?
And when you look at the stat sheet from this past game, it's McConkey with like 150 yards, touchdown, and then it's like 15 yards, 10 yards. I mean, the rest of the team just didn't really do much.
Right.
But the turnovers just killed him, man. And it's not the coach this year. Harbaugh's a good coach. He got them to that point. Their O-line's been decent, so like he's got to look himself in the mirror.
I'm sorry. I think you got to more so blame it on whoever constructed this team this year. I mean, come on, man. You get rid of your best wide receiver. I get it. Mike Williams was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. He was hurt too many times down the stretch when you needed him the most. You let him go. All right, cool. But not to at least sign anybody. And you're letting who used to be your third string, your slot receiver guys, now they're starting.
Yeah.
You don't
elevate they're trotting like Josh Palmer out there and stuff. And like McConkey's been like the revelation. They drafted him. He's going to be good for them. Right. So he has a weapon now. But like, you're also running J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards out there. And I think that's a few years past its expiration date.
It worked well for how this offense is constructed.
It did, yeah. But they worked well in it. But
down the line, you will need a number 1 wide receiver.
You do, yes.
Sorry, I've been reading the chat. So, DE said, just think 2017 conference title quarterback was Blake Bortles, Nick Foles, Case Keenum, and Tom Brady. Still unbelievable.
That picture, yeah.
Yeah, we still have that pic where it was those 4.
Them walking up to the stadium. I don't know if it was, I think it was not the Superdome. I don't know where it was at, but.
And then Justin Herbert is just Phillip Rivers, the curse of the Chargers. Miles said, heck no, Allen Robinson was a beast. He was the only solid thing for the Jags. Yeah, that's true. And then you said, breaking news, Deontay Johnson running backwards to Baltimore after being waived by the Texans.
I was going to get into that.
Yeah.
I don't even want to begin to see what's going on with that.
So he left Pittsburgh, went to the
Panthers. Seems like it was a couple years ago.
So the Panthers. So it started at the Panthers, then he went to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Then from Pittsburgh, he went to Baltimore to Texans.
I'm trying to think. Pittsburgh, the Panthers, Baltimore, Texans, Baltimore.
Jeez, I can't even get the storyline straight.
Yeah, it doesn't even make any sense. And obviously, the reason that he got let go from Houston came out. They're all smoking cigars, all happy. He's bitching and moaning because he didn't get the ball.
Right.
Which seems to be par for his course. But
so, at one point in time, you just shut the hell up and just play? I'm like, I get it, dog. You're not out there, but you're on teams that are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't they play for a ring? I mean, he's good enough. No one's ever said that, like, oh, he's not a good receiver. He's a solid receiver. No one's going to get on Twitter and be like, damn, Deontay Johnson sucks.
So, my thing is, do players not really understand? Like, I get it. You're playing. You're not necessarily focused on other teams. But I believe in my head, it's like, okay, am I going to go to a team that's pass heavy? I mean, no disrespect to Baltimore. They've always been run heavy since Jamal Lewis was on.
Yeah, Lewis, then McGahee and Ray Rice. And,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they've never changed their philosophy of football. So to me, I'm like, I would probably want to go somewhere that's more pass centric.
Yeah. Just
so I can at least catch the ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What was it? Zay Flowers is their first Pro Bowl receiver. I think that was the stat they came. I think he was their first pro because they haven't really had
since Anquan.
Who?
Because then you also had oh man, I forget. Dog, please don't let me forget his name. Because you had Anquan, and after Anquan, you had.
So even before Anquan, they had Derek Mason back in the day, and then they had
Who was after Anquan?
Torrey Smith.
Thank you.
And then they had, who was the other one? So it was Torrey Smith. Steve Smith came in a little bit towards the end, but he still played well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that You wouldn't think this is true, but
out of all those, Zay
Flowers is the first receiver from the Baltimore Ravens to be selected for the Pro Bowl. And they've been around since 96, 7, something like that. And they've had, Derek Mason. They've had Torrey Smith. Had Anquan Bolden. That was it. So that goes back to your theory of the run-heavy offenses because they just always have run it. Anyway,
so that's why I'm thinking to myself, like, do players not think about these things? Like, I get it. Like, you're going to go to whoever signs you at the time. Yeah. You may not really have a lot of options if you have, like, a team that sucks that their season just ended versus a team still in the playoffs. Obviously, you're going to go in the playoffs, but at least ride out that season. You're making a stink because you're not getting the ball. I don't know, man. It's these new players.
It's also the curse of the Steelers receivers because they all do the same thing.
Crash the hell out.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, DE said, breaking news: Joy Taylor is a glizzy gobbler for more than how much Ohio State paid the team.
Whoa.
Sheesh.
Breaking news.
Yeah, so him going back to the Ravens, I don't know why. I don't know how someone like that can still. I'm sorry. At that point, that says more about these organizations and these teams more than it does the player. I mean, if you have a disgruntled player that literally just left your locker room, he just got off waivers, and you're gonna sign him again.
Yeah, why would you claim him, sign him? Why would just?
So at that point, y'all better feed him like AB.
Yeah.
At that point,
and I think there was some that. I don't know how the rule works. I don't even know if he can play.
No, not till the Super Bowl, I believe.
There's some cutoff, so he's not going to play this week at all.
Right.
So there's like a cutoff, so it's like you kind of are you just bringing him into the locker room just to be like in the corner?
Apparently.
Not like he's like the team gel guy that everyone's like, oh, Deontay's back, come on. I don't see the point of it, but.
I don't know either. So yeah, that's a weird pickup by Baltimore. I don't even know if he's even going to be on the team after.
I know, unless they got him so that I don't know how the contract works because I think someone might have signed him. I don't know because isn't he a free agent after the year?
I believe.
I'd have to double check that, but like it just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
I know Pittsburgh wasn't going to pay him at all.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin was smart. He got out of that because now he's dealing with someone else.
So, going over the past week. Let me actually pull up the bracket so we can talk about it because we have to talk about. So, DE, in your opinion, what is the state of Pittsburgh right now? They're, of course, pointing the finger at Tomlin. I mean, he gets the flack every offseason. So they're talking about Pittsburgh. They're still stuck in the early 2000s. They're saying that they're more outdated. Tomlin lets, as long as they win, he will tolerate disrespect.
Yeah.
They haven't put George Pickens in his place.
Which is who I was saying they have to deal with right now because he's a whole other thing.
Hasn't matured. As far as Russ, apparently there was chatter that they were displeased with Russ going down later in the season, which alluded from them being like 10 or
they were 10-3, I believe. Correct us if we're wrong, but I think it was 10-3.
Just went on a 4-game losing streak. I mean, mind you, he was playing some pretty tough defenses at the time. I mean, if you put Fields out there, in my opinion, it wouldn't have changed much.
I think he would run into buzzsaws, like you said, with a tough defense. I don't think Fields is going to do much better than Russ is going to do against Ravens.
Right. And no disrespect, but any quarterback that was going up against Philly was not gonna.
No, and that was kind of their downfall. Once they hit the Philly game, that was supposed to be like let's see if they're for real.
Yeah,
it didn't work.
Right.
But
so he said we'll take. Miles said we'll take Tomlin. So what? Y'all can underperform, and Trevor Lawrence can miss more games, and your team suck. I'm sorry.
Call it like it is.
And then he said, "Well, we used to disappointment. At least we'll win." He said they suck. That's the state. I mean, but so what are we doing about Russ? We want to let him go? Y'all just signed Skylar Thompson for whatever reason.
Whoa, I know.
I don't understand why y'all signed him.
He's never proven like any ounce of starting quarterback trait. So I don't know why you would even put him there. But
he said not paying Russ. So y'all letting Russ walk?
Well, because Russ, obviously he's going to say in the post game, but he's like, "Oh, I want to come back next year." I'm like, I don't even know if they want you back. I mean, I don't.
I'm trying to still see. I literally said this at the start. Why did you sign him? And you got Fields. So now, are you going to start Fields next season?
Yeah, and then what are you going to bring Russ back? And Russ is going to back him up? I don't know.
See, this is why I would have much rather saw this team be mid with Justin Fields and figure it out.
See what you get.
Because the first 4 games, they were what, 3-1?
Yeah. Almost 4. I think 4-1.
Almost. Yeah. I mean, mind you, those were some ugly ass 4 games.
It was more so of Fields just running around the field,
right?
Getting like rushing touchdowns every game.
But they seem competent enough for him to be like, okay, if we can get a passing game out of you, then we'll be good. I would have much rather that. And then when he started to get traction, guess what? Russ.
And that was the whole controversy. Was like, why are they putting Russ in there? Because Fields is playing well. But then,
But now look what you got. You got more. You have a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Than you did at the start of the season prior. Just like I would have been cool with Fields and been like, all right, cool, because you just had Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, Russ and Fields look like gold compared to Pickett.
Right.
Understandably. But I'm like,
see, this is what really be making me just want to crash out. I don't understand the thought because you made more problems now than you did. So
now you got more questions than answers. You didn't answer anything.
Right. They just left the door wide open. And then now they want the coach out. Well, okay. They don't fans. I don't even know what fans. Honestly,
they need someone to point the finger at. It should be more so, I would say, maybe Russ.
Out of both of those Pennsylvania teams, Philly makes more sense because we only want like 2 things.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, Sirianni out. Oh, shout out. Yo, look at that. Come on, man.
I think it's clean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's like, listen, either get Sirianni out or do something with the defense. That's literally it. And they still want Jalen Hurts' head on a pike.
Yeah.
It's one of those 3.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
At least those are the constant 3. I don't understand what Pittsburgh wants.
And I think this came up. I'm pretty sure I said this. I've always believed it. I think it's a problem when you have 2 quarterbacks, because people are like, "Oh, it's a good problem to have 2 quarterbacks that can start." It's not, because that means that one of them is not better than the other.
I mean, have we not seen all the quarterback controversy to this point?
They don't usually work. Not in my recollection.
Not unless you bring a vet quarterback that is clearly washed.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, all right, well, you already know who's starting. You don't have to worry about it.
It's okay to have like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good comparison. It's okay to have like Flacco on a team that has like CJ Stroud.
Right.
Because then it's like, okay, Flacco's a good quarterback. CJ's better though, so he's a starter.
I mean, and people can give me flack for this comparison, but obviously you got Mahomes and Wentz.
Yeah.
Wentz has obviously seen better days, but he won a chip, and then you got your reigning Super Bowl champion starting.
Yeah. But like when then you have like Fields and Russ, and it's like the whole season, it's like, oh, which one do we start? It's like, because they're like, no one's standing out clear and above the other one. So
exactly.
Then you have an issue.
You got a declining quarterback, and then you got a quarterback who literally, I guess at this point you can say he's developed, but he needs a team to where he can at least grow with.
Yeah.
And then you bench him.
Because you knew the situation in Chicago was bad. It's bad for every quarterback. So you bring him into a new situation, he starts to flourish, like you said, and then it's like, oh, you know what? Sit down. Yeah, let's put Russ in there. Like, no, just let him run it.
And then you only use him for quarterback draw plays that the Steelers never really do, because Ben either just hung in there and extended the play or tucked it, but this was never a West Coast offense. Jeez.
Doesn't adapt, like they said. It's still stuck in the 2000s.
So DE also said it might be time to move on from GP, Cam, Micah, and even TJ Watt. Honestly, I want to become the Pittsburgh Buckeyes. He want a clean house. So I can understand the whole the Minka.
I get that. I mean,
TJ, I would say TJ is the only thing that y'all got going for y'all defensively.
I see TJ as like the Troy Polamalu of Pittsburgh, as far as like, I don't think he's ever going to leave.
No.
I think they'll keep him there as like the cornerstone face. He represents that team well as far as toughness.
I mean, but at some point they got to draft people around him.
They do.
I mean, I understand why he didn't want Cam Hayward back. I get it.
I get that. I mean, that sometimes you got to cut the ties.
I had to see it because before I was like, bro, you might as well just keep him. But I see why. Yeah. I see it now.
The George Pickens thing I agree with because it just turns into you're going to bring rookie receivers in and then you're going to have Pickens. It's still going to be bitching and moaning about
I feel like usage. But truly, I feel like he needs the ball. He was drafted.
He does need the ball. He's a legitimate – he has the talent as a one.
Right.
But if you're going to keep running the offense the way you're running it, then he doesn't fit in it. So
same thing I've been saying about DK Metcalf. Yeah. Either you throw him the ball or you get him off the team because he's just wasting space.
He does. I mean, he speaks up. I mean, he gets disgruntled, but he's not on the level of Pickens. I feel like Pickens just makes it known.
Oh, yeah.
DK, you can kind of just see his body language shifts and he gets a little more shut down.
I'm going to be real. I think DK just keeping it under wraps.
I think he is, yeah.
I think he genuinely keeping it under wraps because if he had to take up sign language for his frustration.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, bro.
Therapist, sign language, whatever he's doing.
Bro. You had to take up sign language as a means. Come on, bro. I mean, yeah, it was cool for him to mitigate his frustrations, but I mean, if your second year wide receiver is getting the ball more than your solidified number one, or hell, even Tyler Lockett, who's been there since bro been drafted. I mean,
absolutely.
I'd be upset too. So he also said we drafted Peyton Willis and Nick Herbig. Personally, I want Garrett Wilson and draft Emeka
Ibuka.
Yeah, and he said let Najee Walk draft Judkins or Henderson. Okay.
He wants to Ohio State people.
Got you. Okay. So honestly, I can agree with the Garrett Wilson thing. The thing is, who's going to throw in the ball?
Yeah, you're going to keep running into that.
I mean, so, yeah, you would say Fields, but for some reason, Fields is more out of the pocket than he is in the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just by design or he just said, F it, the play just broke down. I'm going to go and get me a first down. Mm-hmm. So that's my only issue. You want Fields to be the guy? Honestly, I want Fields to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be a stereotypical, stand in the pocket, view the joint. But, I mean, you got wide receiver who can literally take a 5 and then open up the offense. But Najee, I understand. Let Najee walk. I still don't understand how bro can still get 1,000 yards. I swear, every run he gets, I feel like it's like a 3-yard gain.
Yeah.
Every game.
I think his vision's poor. I don't think he has top-end speed. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's definitely has a place in the league as a back, but I don't think he's a featured back on a Super Bowl team. I don't see it.
Oh, well, he's going to continue starting with his production for some reason. But, hey, I'm not a Najee hater. I just don't understand how.
We talk about I don't get it either.
I just don't understand where the performance. I mean, again, James Conner, 1,000-yard back in my eyes, but he doesn't get 1,000 yards. But, again, production levels there. Najee, I see him. I'm like, crap, he just fumbled.
Yeah, exactly.
And I look at the end of the year, end of season stuff. 1,000 yards, crazy. But going back to our predictions for the bracket, as we mentioned before, Chargers they lost 12-32. My thing was I think they just didn't really replace what they lost.
No,
which really contributed to this L.
Just didn't expect it to be that bad. I mean, the Texans have been not very good in the last couple of weeks, even really the whole season.
Right.
They lost to to good teams. I mean, I didn't see them getting past the Chargers, and they did.
Yeah. So now they got to take on the Chiefs again. So, and we all know how that game went the first time.
Yeah.
Tank Dell was injured, lost him for the season, and unfortunately next year.
Yeah.
That is
could be a while. I don't know if he's coming back in top shape, but
I mean, even though he didn't intentionally shorten his career, he sort of prolonged it as well with the rest. So sort of, performance-wise, he may not be the same. Longevity, he'll still have more seasons.
Yeah.
So then we have Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. We talked about it. Baltimore won. Then we had the Denver versus Buffalo game.
I mean, that bomb by Bo Nix to start the game, I was like, we got something going.
Oh yeah, it was real.
The talent deficiency definitely caught up, and Bo Nix, they're making comparisons. I don't know if I agree with it, but it did follow the same path from rookie year Mac Jones to Bo Nix. How Mac Jones went 10-7, Pro Bowl, takes on the Bills in the wild card round, and then just doesn't get it done.
I remember we talked about it, and I think I laughed because
I don't see it. I think Bo Nix is a lot more talent and is pinky than
I'm Mac sorry, Jones. Yeah. Bo Nix is a dog.
Yeah, he is. And I mean, we all said he wasn't going to be. He's the old guy. He's 25, 26-year-old rookie. But I mean, no, they'll be fine. They really overperformed this year. We all said that they were going to be like, 6-10 or 6-11, whatever. They came out and they played well. But yeah, it's not. That was just clearly Buffalo's game to win.
Yeah, to see 3 AFC West teams in the playoffs this year, that was not on my bingo card.
No, it was not.
Now, here's a guy, Bo Nix. DE said.
Oh, no, here's a guy. Yeah, here's a guy.
Bo Nix.
Little the homie. Yeah.
So, with the divisional round, unfortunately, I'm just going to go with Houston. I already know the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I know. I just can't stomach it. But the only thing, and I'll give people, people know, but just give a little hope. Chiefs have had 3 weeks rest. 2 or 3 of their starters. 2. Mahomes hasn't thrown a pass since Christmas Day.
And we saw how bad Jalen was when he came back.
Yeah.
After his headache.
Yeah. Ouch.
After his headache.
So, I mean, I don't think this game is going to be a blowout for Kansas City. They're going to win, but.
D said, here's a guy, drops a bomb first play and still finds a way to lose.
Yes. I really was like, I remember sitting there, I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is happening right now. It's like, okay.
For real. Yeah. And then came back. The game was still close, 7-13. And
then there was that touchdown pass that Allen threw that I don't think was a touchdown.
It was not. I would
say it was not.
His knee, no, I think his foot was out before his knee.
Yeah, he was falling backwards and I think his heel went out. And then I
was like, dude, I literally saw, I was like, how is that a touchdown? It was in plain sight.
I was like, oh my God.
Come on now. All right. So then, honestly, we have the game. Is this game of the year? Baltimore, Buffalo? I mean,
it's set up for it.
So they played before.
Yeah.
Baltimore beat the brakes off of them. Mind you, I think that was a time when Buffalo literally lost everybody on defense.
Yeah, they were down because they were like
everybody.
Milano was out. I don't even know if Von Miller had come back yet.
No,
they were missing.
He wasn't back.
No, yeah, they were missing.
They were playing like third string. They were playing. I want to say they have practice guys.
Probably.
That's how depleted defensively. They were bad.
Yeah. This is not going to go the same way I went that game. I mean, we'll make the prediction once we get everything set up there, but
is it going to be offensive? I think this is going to be I want to say it'll be an offensive game.
I could see it being like a 34-30 kind of game. I could see it getting up there.
I don't see Buffalo's defense stopping.
I honestly think the Ravens are a team of destiny this year. I think this is Lamar's year to go all the way
until they play Kansas City.
I said all the way, at least all the way to the conference championship. But I do think Baltimore beats Buffalo here.
I only say that because ref ball.
Yeah, ref ball.
He said just to shut up Ravens fans. To shut up Ravens fans.
I don't know. I mean, it'll be a good game, but yeah, it's just what's crazy too. I think we talked about it. Like, it's going to be another narrative for one of them. It's going to be like Josh Allen can't win the big one.
Oh God!
So it's like pick your poison. Obviously, I like Lamar more, so I want Lamar to be the one that gets past the hurdle. But yeah, someone's going to get you.
Oh
this game.
God!
We're gonna have to hear about it.
Jeez, good point. So now we have Washington and Detroit.
Washington. So you want to talk about the game, like
the Bucks Washington game? So tell me how you hit a Cody Parkey joint.
I sat there and I went, oh, big gasp, and then and
that joint curved to the right.
I know,
and I was like, oh man, you shanked it. We going to OT. Curved in. I was like, no damn way.
It made the boom sound, and then it just snuck right in. And then obviously they were flaming him too for fixing his hair.
Yeah,
you saw that.
Yeah,
which is so. I guess he's been in the league for a while, but I guess people on their draft board, like GMs and stuff, didn't want to draft him because he has OCD.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, "Yeah, we can't deal with that." Like the comb, put the helmet on, comb. So I mean, he made the shot though. I know. I mean, people have their rituals too. I'm like, I don't think he's doing anything detrimental. I'm like, that's just his ritual, I guess. He's been doing that all year. He has to fix his hair like 10 times.
These scouts are weird as
I know,
hell, bro.
I'm like, you won't draft him because he has OCD?
Oh, mad weird for that.
Yeah.
Miles said, I hope it's Josh Allen, man. It's grown.
I mean, like I said, I really don't have any beef with Josh Allen. It's just the Bills.
Yeah.
But, I mean, whoever wins, it's cool, but
I just need honestly, if it were up to me, I wish Baltimore or Buffalo would have got matched up with Kansas City before, not Houston.
Yeah.
So
that could have been an easy, a divisional round exit would have been nice. Yeah.
So they don't have to go to the conference, and then we obviously have to see this team walk its way into. Yeah, I would have much rather saw. Honestly, the way they're playing, I would have rather seen Buffalo. Yeah. Play
Kansas City. That would have probably been game of the year. That would have been
just so Allen can have his run back.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, I will say, probably don't have any Tampa Bay fans in here. Todd Bowles needs to go. I think it's about time. I really think he's part of this problem. Now, Baker had a couple when he had the fumble in the game and stuff like that, but like, I think Todd Bowles is just not working.
That's a valid point.
Now, Tampa Bay all year had their issues because Godwin's obviously been out the whole season. Defense. Mike Evans lost for a couple weeks. Defense has been hurt. Mm-hmm. So there's been issues. Like, I'm not saying they were a fully healthy team, but I don't know, man. It's just like I feel like they kind of underperformed. Everyone was talking about how dangerous they were going to be, and they ran into the Jaden Daniels miracle season.
It's so weird, too, with this team because they could have been better, but they just had a lot of things that didn't go their way because they did beat one of the best teams in football in the Lions.
That's true, yeah.
They beat a struggling Philly team early trying to figure out what we were doing.
Yeah, that whole mess of the beginning of the season.
I mean, they've hung in there with good teams, and then again, injuries, defense. They lost a lot of guys.
They did, and so that's why I said. I mean, I wouldn't say
I don't really know who or where it goes. I do agree that Bowles is probably past his head coaching prime.
I think he's a great mind, but like I just don't think the leadership thing's working for him right now. I think they need someone else that's going to get him there. I mean,
is it more so he's do I say outdated?
A little bit, but I also think it's his temperament as well. I mean, like they asked him on the sidelines, and I know it's kind of like a random point, but like they asked him, "How do you contain Jaden Daniels?" Oh, we just gotta play better and try to stop him. Like there just I didn't feel what he was telling me. Like I'm like, are you telling this to them? Because they're not going to listen. I wouldn't listen to that.
Right.
Hey guys, you just need to try to cover the edge. Don't let them get around to the edge.
Doesn't control the locker room.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, they probably don't mind playing for him, but I just for some reason I think he's probably out, like you said, out of his expiration date there.
And that's a good point too, because once you think, I look at all these coaches in the divisional, they all control the locker room.
Yeah. Even Sirianni, for his faults, I mean, that dude's yelling, screaming, passionate. Tomlin, I would say, controlled the locker room. They just didn't get it done. I mean, there's guys on there that are,
I mean, as mild-mannered as Sean McDermott is, like...
They still... I mean, the schemes work. They play well for him.
Yeah. You never... Besides the whole... speech. Besides that...
Now that's... Yeah.
Yeah, besides that, I mean, now here's a coach.
Now here's a coach that's got some deep-rooted issues.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could even go down to like Dan Campbell, fiery. D'Amico Ryan's fiery. I mean, all these coaches on here. Literally. Harbaugh. I mean, they're both the Harbaughs. So I think he's almost like the odd man out here. I'm like, I don't know how it goes on in the locker room, but I think they should have beat Washington, honestly.
I feel like they followed more Baker's lead than they did the coach.
Baker, the way he's matured over the years, from being immature to like a locker room leader, I think they definitely
I feel like they follow him more than anything.
Yeah.
But to go to... That'll be a very good game. We'll see if Jaden Daniels can...
Like I said, it's weird because I feel like there's some magic with him this year. I don't think they can get past Detroit. I don't know who's getting past Detroit.
We'll just see how many points they put up. We'll see how many points they put up and who can stop.
That's going to be another game. So Detroit's defense is a lot better than Tampa's. Clearly.
Right, but they're also like...
They are beat up. I mean, they got Anzalone back, but I mean, yeah, they're
They don't have enough people back to where it's like, okay, like defensively.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, okay. This is a full rounded out defense with Pro Bowlers on it.
Is this? I don't know. Is this when they get Montgomery back?
Should be, yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
If they get him back.
I'm saying Jahmyr Gibbs is taking over the responsibility 10 out of 10, and then you throw Montgomery in there in like short line situations. You don't have to ask too much out of him. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. But I'm taking Detroit. I think you would take Detroit too.
Yeah. I got Detroit. I think Washington. Yeah, they got farther than they expected, but
yeah,
it's going to run into a brick wall. Speaking of brick walls, we played the Rams 3 times since we've been to the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
Out of all 3 meetings, Philly has won every meeting. So I believe we played this team. I want to say we played this team this year. Yeah, we did. Bill, I just said it. And so now we play them again. So they beat up Minnesota 27-9.
Yeah.
So talking about that game real quick. I don't know if you saw it. Everybody wants to get rid of Sam Darnold.
I did, and I mean he did get sacked 8 or 9 times. The O-line didn't do him a lot of favors.
So, honest opinion, do you think they would have got this far with McCarthy?
No.
I agree.
I don't, because I think Sam Darnold's always had like talent there, but he saw a ghost in this game, and he saw a ghost in Week 18 against Detroit. That's like the Sam Darnold that was having problems in New York and stuff. So I think his true colors show, but I don't think McCarthy as a rookie quarterback would have done this.
So moving forward, will this be the same Minnesota team that we saw this season? I don't think so.
I don't think Darnold comes back, because I'm like, you would pay him based off of
this past season.
And if the season stopped at Week 17 and you ignored everything else, then you would give him money. But you have a rookie quarterback that you spent a high draft pick on. You don't know what you're getting out of him. You could put him in there, and they could be in the conference championship next year. So it's like, do you want to bring Sam Darnold back and like pay all that money and then trade away McCarthy when McCarthy could go ball out somewhere else and deal with this Sam Darnold? I wouldn't bring him back. He just didn't do enough in the games that mattered.
Do you lose anything by bringing him back? Is he asking for money?
Yeah, he's going to ask for a lot. Now his value went down from this game. 100%. People are going to look at that and be like, ooh.
I still look at him as, I don't think he's a legitimate starter. I think this is more of this wasn't a test run. He was finally in a situation where he had a good running back, good tight end,
two receivers he could throw the ball to.
And it's not as if this Minnesota team was so complex. I mean, this is the same team Kirk Cousins took him to the same record and lost in the same round
against the Giants.
So it's like I don't think it's more so that is it the team or is it the quarterback? I don't know.
Well, the problem is Kevin O'Connell's a good coach,
right?
They love playing for him. Brian Flores has had this defense cooking all year,
right?
So it's not your defensive coordinator. The offense, I mean, it's been innovative. They've put up points this year,
right?
It literally just came down to they like ran out of gas, and I think Sam Darnold has to take a lot of blame for that, even though, like I said, he got sacked 8 times. That tells me that the Rams defense was playing well and that the O-line wasn't giving him enough time.
So is it just the quarterback?
It's got to be. I mean, I don't see. So, like, let's say Sam Darnold comes to you and goes, I want 4 years, 150. Baker got a big contract off of his 1 year wonder. I mean, obviously he's carried it on, but it's the same mold to me. It's like Baker was kind of toiling around. He went to Carolina, didn't do well. Went to the Rams. They didn't need him because they had Stafford, and then Tampa takes him in, gives him a lucky contract.
That Rams season showed that really that boosted his that value,
because that Thursday night game when he came, it was like an 85-yard drive, and they were like, okay, there's something there.
Yeah, so the time that he was filling in, that really propelled him to get that Bucks deal.
And then that Bucks deal was a short deal. I think it was like 1 year, 15 or 20 million. And then they gave him the bag because he proved he could do it.
So then is this same thing with Darnold? So is he going to get to go to a different team and take a bag?
I would say, I mean, like I said, I think if the Vikings didn't have McCarthy, I think they would just pay Darnold. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, you got a good quarterback. You know he can play in the system.
Right.
But to not know what you're getting, you spent like a top 15 pick on him. I couldn't justify giving Sam Darnold that much money. Now, if Sam Darnold's like, hey, guys, I'll take a year deal for $20 million, then sure, yeah.
And then are you starting him next year?
I think you kind of let it play out. I mean, you could start him in the beginning and then know that McCarthy's coming in. But I just think...
Then you're not doing McCarthy a service.
Then you're not doing McCarthy a service. I think you owe it to McCarthy to just throw him out there and see what you get. He sat there the whole year. He sat behind a good winning team. You know he's coming into the same situation that Darnold was just in. So I think you just gotta give it a try because he's gonna want some money and it's not gonna be worth it.
I think we're having a quarterback conundrum. We are. Jesus, you would think the most solidified spot on a team, that's the most problematic.
Yeah.
For a lot of these teams. Well, I had the Vikings.
I did too. I didn't think Los Angeles was going to get past them because my thought process was the Vikings played so bad against Detroit, but the whole year they played well. I'm like, okay, they're going to dust that off and come out with a vengeance and clean it. No. And the Rams, I don't want to claim that you guys are going to lose. I don't think you guys will. I think you guys will get past them, but it's a dangerous matchup. The way the Rams are playing right now, I wouldn't put it past them.
I'm going to look at the Rams the same way I look at the Bucks. It's another team we've beaten before. I've never really...
They don't strike fear in you. I wouldn't be afraid if I was a Eagles fan, but I think it's going to be a good game.
So the only way that I will be very concerned is if Jalen just has another performance like he did last week.
Yeah, that would not be a good idea.
I mean, because you have an all-star wide receiver who caught one pass for 10 yards, and now he's
reading a book. How do you feel about him reading the book?
I don't care.
I wouldn't care either.
I don't care.
I wouldn't care either.
I genuinely don't care. It's just like, what do you like? I mean, honest to goodness, it's cold as hell. They're up by hella.
Yeah.
It's like they can't even smile.
Yeah.
Or act any.
The camera's everywhere on.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'd much rather him do that than see LeBron and the bozos in the corner acting like they're shooting dice.
Oh, I agree.
While they're up like 20.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'd much rather see him reading a book. Who cares?
No.
I don't understand.
Shout out to whoever made that book because that thing on Amazon went up by like...
Word.
Oh, man. People buying that thing like crazy.
Shout
out. Flying off the shelf.
Shout out Philly.
Yeah.
So Miles said, we'll take Sam Darnold also. He was a proven winner this year. Man, y'all gonna take anybody in a paper bag.
Have a competition between Jones, Darnold, and Lawrence.
Yeah, man. And then y'all gonna go to the same record, and then y'all gonna, heck no, I would not play in Jacksonville.
No.
Y'all gonna be blaming me for everything. Just like they did T-Law. Jeez.
Oh, God.
So, honestly, again, I'm not worried about anything other than Jalen's performance. Obviously, his first game back, 2 weeks out of concussion. He almost missed this game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, defense played well. I feel bad for Packers. Every time we play them, I don't know if you noticed from like the first game of the season towards this one, every time we play them, someone's injured.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's
I'm just like, I hope Packers fans don't think that we're taking out their players.
No, because, I mean, you got to think like that week 1 game, it was like...
The field was horrible.
Everyone was getting hurt. Love gets hurt, and then Malik Willis comes in, and it came down to that Hail Mary. So I'm like, if Love was in there, could it have been different? But, I mean, you guys clearing away. Jordan Love did not play well in this game at all.
3 picks?
3 picks.
Mm-mm.
No. Really, the only offense they had was Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I mean, you that's another thing with Jordan Love. I mean, I still give him time, but you need a little bit more out of him than that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Contract. Yeah.
Yeah, Christian Watson was hurt. Okay, that's cool. But, like...
You think it was just playoff experience?
I mean, you could chalk it up to that, too, but, like... That's just it's a bad game to do that in. Same thing with Herbert. Like, he had the experience, and he sucked. To me, it's just like, I mean, obviously you gave Love the contract, so let him ride it out. But I would maybe try to get a wide receiver 1 in there.
You know what sucks? I feel like at this point, when people just underperform, they're like, even though they're on a contract, their contract is on a time limit.
Yeah.
So like with Love, since he had this performance and he comes in and say if he has a similar performance next year, then it's just like we're long past the days of the quarterback who would play for his team for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, even though if they have bad performances and they wrote it out,
yeah.
Now these dudes are literally on 3-4 year trial runs, I'll say. not
especially
contracts.
when they're in, you're 25, 26, you get a 3-year deal. It's like, okay, then you're going to hit your prime at the end of this.
Right.
So is it like, if you're not good, then they're just going to kick you out and show you the door.
Exactly.
And I mean, they are making money. I mean, Love got like a 3 or 4 year, like 120, 130 deal. So he's making money. It's not like we're boo-hooing for him. But
no.
Still, it's true though. It's true.
But with you saying that, I just brought it up. I'm just like, quarterbacks back in the day used to go to playoffs, and they were still safe.
Yeah,
because that was the quarterback of the future. That was the quarterback of the entire franchise.
We didn't see a lot of turnover in the QB position.
No,
now it's just like everyone question marks everything.
Right. So now I'm just like, when did we start straying away from that? Is it when, like, I know the league has evolved, but why is it like, even though the most secure position is sometimes not so much secured, due to performance?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It's like, okay, do I really want to sit? I mean, the Giants, they could have had their quarterback of the future forever ago.
Yeah,
and then they wouldn't have to deal with it.
Oh yeah.
But now, and I was gonna say too, what really went down for Minnesota was signing Daniel Jones. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Bad juju.
He just messed up.
Dan Dimes? What's wrong? What's wrong with him?
They just stunk it up. Hold up. He said the real question is, will Pookie Bear's legacy be affected by Monday's game? Good Lord.
Probably.
Speaking about legacy, shout out to the Lakers losing to the Spurs by a lot. Yeah. It was like 124 to 1 something.
It's that Wembanyama type of.
I think one of these podcasts I'm gonna rip into basketball a little bit more, but
yeah.
So that is all 4 games. So now we'll go with our predictions.
Okay.
Obviously, I mean, I want Houston.
Yeah.
But we all know it's really
no.
Baltimore and Buffalo.
I'm gonna take Baltimore. I just think they're just. I don't know. I feel like Buffalo's gonna lose steam here.
I'm gonna be real. I always went with Buffalo. I respect the hell out of Josh Allen. This isn't really to put down any Ravens. I think ever since like Burrow, Allen, Mahomes been in the league, I've been seeing them dudes take L's, and I always felt like they were the underdog in a way.
Well, yeah,
because they never really got theirs, just dudes, and
Isn't it kind of freaky how like history's repeating itself? It's like Brady had the stranglehold on the AFC, and you had like Manning, Rivers, both of Manning. I mean, like really solid quarterbacks. So like if you played them now, they're probably winning championships. But now Mahomes is in there, and he's blocking all these other solid quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. But yeah, I mean, also another point to bring up is that these are the same 4 teams from last year.
Yep.
And that, to me, doesn't make for exciting football. I want to see different teams. I want to see someone else get a shot.
I think this time it has different implications because now Kansas City is quote-unquote losing steam.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is obviously on the rise.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is proving that he's literally a game away, and Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. So I feel like every time it's just even. You're correct. You do see these teams on repeat.
Yeah.
But it also stands out to their performance and being able to get to this point.
Yeah, you get back to that same spot.
Right. And I know they want to get over the hump. Again, I genuinely wish either Baltimore or Buffalo was playing Kansas City and not the Texans. Yeah. But I'm going to go with my dog, Josh Allen, on this one. I feel like there's really no solid loser. We just got to take down Kansas City.
That's it, yeah.
That's really
Operation Take Down Kansas City. Yeah.
At that point, because honestly, the winner of this game, I'm going to root for them against Kansas City.
Yeah.
So even if, unfortunately one of these teams got to lose, but
the only saving grace is that Kansas City's going to get a hard matchup next week.
Right.
So I mean, either they play Baltimore or Buffalo, and either one's going to be interesting.
Or unless some crazy thing happens in Houston and where they can.
Yeah.
But that's a fever dream, so I shouldn't even brought it up. So DE said Bills versus Chiefs, the rematch.
I mean, I could see it.
Bro said Pookie James can go to the Steelers. Miles, you bugging? Actually, yeah, that'd be cool.
Tight end.
And then what I was talking about? Oh, Pool Lawrence. Oh, Pookie Lawrence. Pookie Lawrence ain't got no legacy than the one in Clemson. Shit.
Damn, that's yeah.
I was gonna say something about Deshaun Watson. I was going to say because he brought up Clemson.
Yeah.
I hope that brother gets well. And I only say that, too, because he re-ruptured his Achilles. Bro, as someone who came off Achilles 2 years ago.
I get you know it better than anyone. Yeah.
Jeez, man, that's
re-rupturing. I want to know how he did it. No one said how he did it.
Re-rupture. He's not gonna be the same.
No, and he's not going to definitely not play next year. He's no
re-rupturing, but at that point you lose all trust and hope in your own body.
His mind's going to always be
in the. But I'm be real. So and this, I've been in the gym since June of last year, July. I'm still disconnected. I still haven't fully trusted myself.
Yeah.
And it's really just one of those mind over body things. But for him to re-rupture it at his age, his level,
that's not good.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all I can say. It's not good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bro said massage Watson. That's tough.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one said that. It kind of flows with Deshaun.
Yeah. Watson. That's crazy. So then on the NFC side, we're both rolling with Detroit.
Yeah.
And then Philly, Rams.
I'm taking Philly. I think Philly gets past it. So, I mean, it's kind of basic because it's 1-2, and then you said Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be 1-2, 1-2. But they really are the best teams. I mean, the Ravens have a case, but I don't see anyone getting past them. That would set up for a crazy conference championship.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Detroit and Philly is what I think everyone wants to see. I want to see it happen. So.
Yeah. We just got to get past the Rams. I'm not holding my breath. Yeah. Honestly, I like seeing how they're coming out. Wow, this team. I had the Cardinals.
Yeah, I thought the Cardinals, especially the way they were playing,
and the 49ers.
Yeah.
So the Rams they just had to get in where they fit in.
And the crazy thing about the Rams is you got to think. So this team trades Goff, gets Stafford. They win a Super Bowl. They're over the cap. They're old. They rebuild for 1 year. Darnold leaves. Or not Darnold. Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go right back. Now they're in the divisional round again. They have like no turnaround. It's
literally.
Just like, let's pick up. Let's keep going.
Literally.
Like,
Sean McVay is a freak, bro.
They lucked out with Puka.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. I mean, that was a late round pick. You didn't think it was going to be that good. But still, come on.
Literally.
How was that going to happen?
And he picked up the slack when Coop was out.
Yeah, and then now you could get, because Cooper's getting
to that point.
I'm not going to say wash. I don't want to say that. But, like, you can kind of see he's not the same as he was.
Injuries.
Yeah.
He's going through that Michael Tomlin right now.
Because I want to say, how old is he? I don't think he's past 32, but I
think he's getting up there. I think he's 28, 29. But, yeah, he's really hitting.
31.
31 is tough.
He'll be 32 in June, so by the time next season rolls around, he'll be 32. That's kind of what we saw Julio Jones start to slow down a little bit. So, I mean, but...
isn't that when Michael Thomas stopped, too?
I think, Michael Thomas, I feel like he's still...
No, because he was getting to 30. He wasn't 30, but he was getting there.
Michael Thomas is 31. So he slowed down at like 28, 29.
I want to say 20.
In 2019, he set the record for the most receptions in a season at 149. So
that's why it's all blurry, bro. It was before 2020.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Nothing makes sense but before that, no?
Miles said, question is, will Taylor Swift get more screen time this year? Of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be bad.
Of course she will.
Yeah. Especially it's the Texans, so it's like, who are you going to show on the Texans side? They're just like the gritty team that's just like there and trying to, yeah.
Right. Of course. Yeah. So anytime that anybody does anything, they're going to pan the camera right to her first before Andy Reid or Mahomes or anybody. There's going to be an interception. They're going to pan it over to Taylor while bro is running for a touchdown. Wild.
You know how it goes.
Wild. But, so we just got to get through the Rams. I'm not going to hold my breath. I expect this to be a very gritty team. I expect us to start slow, per usual. First half. Second half will be a better team. But I hope we are not crawling ourselves out of a hole.
No, because I honestly, and I'm not trying to make them seem like the big bad Rams, but I don't know if they let you get out of that hole the way they've been playing. I feel like the way they took care of Minnesota, two different animals for sure, but like they kind of have the intensity right now. I'm like, if they see blood, I don't know if they just the kill.
So I don't really see them ripping off a huge game offensively.
I don't either. I mean, you guys, your defense is is different. Yeah.
It's definitely going to be tit for tat, but not to where we're going to be behind like 2 scores or something. It's not going to be those type of games.
Nakobe Dean, I know he's I know it's a bad thing to bring that up, but I mean, I know he's a great player. Is he someone that's going to like really alter this defense without him there?
We're going to miss him.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's not been like Pro Bowl, but I know he's been like a solid piece for you guys.
I think he had like over 125 tackles.
Oh yeah, see that's
yeah. We're gonna miss him for sure. I mean, did we miss him during Green Bay? I think we were up enough to where we didn't really notice it. But again, LA has never really struck me as a offensive crazy team to where I don't know. I think we'll miss him more when we play Detroit.
Yeah, especially with those boys running up the middle.
Yeah, we'll miss them.
Yeah.
But last but not least, we got to talk about your man.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Chat, y'all don't realize how much this man was glazing.
I was
in our chat earlier. So, out with Gerard Mayo, the former linebacker, and then you go with the OG Mike Vrabel.
There is a difference. Gerard Mayo, he's won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
He didn't play in that Super Bowl. Vrabel played in the Super Bowls. Vrabel was the locker room leader in those Super Bowls. There's a different mentality. So, like, it's not like a whole hour segment that's needed, but night and day with the press conference. Gerard Mayo gets up there. He's kind of fumbling. You can see he's like, he gave some nickname to Kraft. He's like, I've been calling that forever, like Young Cat or something. Like some corny thing. Vrabel gets up there, it's all business. It's, we want to win. We're tired of losing kind of thing.
That sounds like somebody we know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a complete night and day difference with the press conference. I think it's going to be more than like a year, but I do think definitely in New England, because someone was like, oh, they're going to give him like time and be patient. That's long done. We just went 4-13 the last 2 years. You need to come in and start winning some games. So I think he's got the mentality. Like I said, that locker room needs someone that's going to be like, shut the F up, sit down. And he said the big thing that they're going to do this year is hold people accountable and no entitlement. Because, Kayshon Boutte's talking about he wants the ball. He only had 500 yards receiving this year. I mean, he was like our wide receiver 1, but the whole offense sucked. I mean, these dudes like Jelani Tavai comes out there and says like, oh, they don't have any right to boo us. Like, they're sitting in the stands. No. You guys have lost 13 games. There's an issue. That locker room, and that was a problem with Mayo. I think he was more just like, oh, hey, it's okay, guys. Like he's in the back after they lost to Arizona. He goes in the back of the plane. He's playing cards with them.
I think Coach was living vicariously through the players. He was.
I mean, he was still like 37, 38. His career got cut short because of injuries too. So I'm like, he probably still wanted to play. But I'm like, they don't need... Same thing with Antonio Pierce. Like, that mentality worked for a little bit, and people are like, look at how much fun they're having. But then you start losing, and everyone starts losing their mind. Antonio Pierce is gone. He's gone. The players coach thing works if you're a good coach, but it doesn't work if you're just their friend.
Right.
There's no accountability.
So is that the same way for Mike McDaniels?
Mike McDaniels has snuck by because I think the team has had so much talent. Like the Raiders and the Patriots just didn't have the talent.
Right.
But like he's had Tyreek and he's had a good defense all these years. But like, yeah, we've talked about player coaches all the time, but like they only get so far. Sometimes.
Yeah, and that was a major thing we were talking about too, because I was an advocate for players coaching. Wow, did that come back and whoop my ass? I am like 0 for 8 now because all the player coaches. Oh yeah, they out.
And it's okay to be human with them sometimes.
Right.
Like Andy Reid, I would say, is a player's coach.
And I think that's where I got it from, because he was such a player's coach.
Yeah.
But he knew where to draw the line between being your friend and being a hard ass and being a coach.
Because he has that mentality where it's like, okay, we're in a big game, or they underperformed last week, or someone's like out of line, then I need to step in and we need to put the face on. But when you're having fun and winning, Dan Campbell's a player's coach, but guess what? When they lose, I don't think that's a fun locker room to be in.
Oh,
I would say that practice is probably definitely not fun.
I know bro got PTSD from them 0-16.
Oh my God.
I know, bro.
That picture of him with the long hair with like his eyes just like beating through the camera. I'm like, yeah, that dude, he's seen some things.
Bro, man. You can only imagine where their mental was in that locker room.
Oh my God. That's the thing that I think benefited him is like he went through it. I mean, I'm not saying Gerard Mayo didn't go through it, but like Gerard, to sum that up too, is like he was set up to fail. He was left with a Belichick team that was not very good. They were running through Zappy and Mac Jones back and forth. They didn't know what they were doing. So then Gerard comes in. They didn't really get anyone, and it just didn't work for him. So I do feel bad. I mean, he seems like a good dude, but Vrabel's what they need someone to get in there and like kick ass, and that's what he's going to do.
Right.
So.
No, I agree. This is definitely going to be a different team next year.
Oh yeah.
Excited to see the development of Drake May.
And it's like it's as simple, and it sounds simple on paper, but like they obviously will have to come here. But like you take Drake May with like a coach like Vrabel, who's gonna get him on the right path, get a good OC in there. You sign like T Higgins. Mm-hmm. T Higgins comes in there now. He has a wide receiver.
I really think y'all getting T Higgins.
If they have the money to pay him, mm-hmm. So if they sign a big check and they say here's the maximum offer that you can get, do you want to come play for us? And he says no, and he might go back to Cincinnati because he likes it there. But
I don't. No disrespect, I don't see him leaving. Even though they were close to getting into the playoffs. They needed one team to lose.
But I think if Cincinnati can structure their money correctly, because obviously Jamar still needs to get paid and everything, then I think they'll keep him for sure. They don't want to let him go. But like, it's just the Patriots are, and even like a DK Metcalf. What is he doing in Seattle?
Nothing.
You're getting ready to get rid of Geno Smith at some point. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's kind of hit his plateau. So it's like you could trade him. Patriots would give up like a second-round pick for him for sure.
And you say he hit his plateau, and he was fourth in the league.
Geno
yards. That's so crazy. I still don't get that.
But you see, I mean,
in the production, it's like he's ass, but he threw the most. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. He's not ass because
he's not ass. He is a starting quarterback in the NFL. But like, is he going to get you to where you need to go? He's not going to get you where you need to go. It's like the same thing. Like, yeah, Russ started, but they didn't go where they wanted to.
They went backwards.
You could put Geno on like the Vikings, and like they're probably going to go to the playoffs too. But like, he's not going to get you where you need to go. So like, with DK, it's like he's going to get up there in age at some point in the next couple of years. So like, are you planning on winning a Super Bowl in that time? Why don't you just trade him?
I give him this next season.
Who? DK or yeah? I honestly, because he's a free agent after this coming up season. So it's like, that's the perfect time. He's going to want money. You want to pay him?
I get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Does he even want to stay there? I mean, I don't think he does. So that's like something like that. Like the Patriots, if they can structure it, they need a lot of players. There's not a lot of talent on that team. Mm-hmm. But like, you have the coach now, so start building,
Right. I'm going to end the poll. It's a 50-50 split. So between Ohio State and Notre Dame. It'll definitely be an interesting game coming up.
It will be, yeah.
Other than that, besides, truly, I did not want to go. I think that's it as far as updates, just the major ones.
I think so too.
Because I'm be real, I sort of kind of don't want to go through this list right now because it's been a week. And
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Quinn Ewers, he said he was gonna go to
the draft. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a good idea, but
I think he should have stayed. But you know how it is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So yeah, you were right. He is on pace to play against the Commanders. David Montgomery.
Okay.
Lord. Yeah, we talked about Mike Tomlin. Georgia quarterback, y'all saw he going to Miami. Yep, right after they lost.
Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Was girls there too, so yeah. Just a little something extra to throw in there, but
oh my God. I mean, it makes sense too because Cam Ward is out.
Yeah, they needed like someone to replace him. But
spot.
They also gave him like a lot of money, like that NIL shit. So I mean, he's really gonna live up. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna play out, but
how your girl in Miami?
She's one of the twins, the Cavender twins. They play basketball.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? Two blonde girls. Yeah, she's dating.
No, I made that face. I was like, what?
Yeah, you went.
He pulled that? Yeah. That is tough. He pulled that?
Yeah. I think it's been going on for like a year or two. I was like,
yeah. I've been touching so much grass. NIL deal worth $4 million. The one that he's going to now in Miami?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, yeah.
The hell are you making now? Probably not even
Not that much, I don't think, no. I feel like Miami's paying him a lot more.
Well, this is the NFL now, so. What was I gonna say? So more Cowboy stuff.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about that. We gotta touch on that a little bit.
So Miles sent me a screenshot of it, and I literally just put the yawning emoji.
What, the Dion?
I think this place is a clown show. Troy Aikman has been taking rips at this team about the lack of direction. I think at this point, Jerry Jones is just going to make himself head coach.
Yeah.
He has no plan on replacing any of these. Is this a power trip? What is?
It has been for years. I think it's just going to continue. But I will give him credit. Mike McCarthy needed to go.
Right.
I think he's been an issue.
Right.
But like, I feel like instead of like looking through the league and kind of looking through like for like young minds or someone that can get in there, maybe an offensive minded head coach, something like that. Like we're like cycling through like Dion. And then the Belichick thing came out. Like maybe they could get Belichick away from UNC. I'm like, I don't think you guys are looking in the right direction. But like, I think it is a power trip thing. Honestly, it seems like it.
Miles said prime time. He going to Dallas. I don't think he going to Dallas. What was I gonna say? So I was gonna say I want to make a bet, but I'm going to make a prediction that we are going to all meet up on draft day. They still won't have a head coach.
That's not a outlandish prediction.
I will go all the way until what is it in April?
Yeah,
we're in.
I think at the end of April. Yeah.
All right, so
4 months or so. Yeah.
I'm making a prediction now that we are going to all reconvene on draft day, and they won't have a quarterback.
They might not have a quarterback either.
They won't have a head coach. That is going to be my prediction. The whole thing of trying to get Dion in and then get them to draft his son, I'm like, y'all just totally just booted
the whole
Dak Prescott out the way, and y'all just really want this team to just be a blunder.
The whole idea, and then someone brought up, oh, why don't they trade Dak to Tennessee and get the first overall pick so they can draft Shador? And I'm like, wow, oh my god, what kind of fantasy football mad franchise are we running? I don't.
These are the same people who were able to drive. We were actually on the road with these same people.
Apparently, these people went to college. I mean,
jeez, bro. So honestly, I don't really see. I mean, it really won't solve their problems. In my opinion, I think it's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Dion, but his college record, I mean, this was his first successful, besides Jackson State in Colorado, this was his first successful season.
Yeah, I mean, he took the program and turned it around, but like he also. Yeah, I don't. There's not enough to go off of for. I'm like, yeah, he's an NFL head coach.
Right. I don't really see it being a. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't see this happening.
They need to be looking for like, and I know it's a little late now, but like Ben Johnson or someone like that. That's like a young coach they can get in there. I even think Kellen Moore wouldn't be a bad look. I'm not trying to take him away from you guys, but he was the OC there. I mean, I think Jerry Jones likes him for all intents and purposes. But like, yeah, just the retread of like, oh yeah, Dion played there 30 years ago, so let's maybe bring him in because I like him. I'm just like, there's just not enough to go off of.
Yeah, no.
That's not what this team needs.
Real quick, Khalil Mack is contemplating retirement heading into his first potential free agency.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, he's not the same player.
I still remember him playing for what was it, Chicago or the Raiders, and he like one arm shoved that lineman.
Yeah. That was, I think, that might have been in Chicago because he was still a beast in Chicago. Mm-hmm. They just wasted a couple of years out of him.
Wow, totally forgot about that whole Cowboys thing.
Yeah.
It just literally went in one ear out the other. I literally saw it. They were discussing it they took like a whole segment on First Take, and I was like, I was wasting y'all damn time. There's really nothing to talk about.
No.
Honestly, other than that, I think we covered everything. Falcons fired the defensive coordinator, Jimmy Lake, after one season. Tough. Well, I guess they're going to rebuild. All right, so final question. What are the Falcons doing? You bench Kurt.
Oh, God. I forgot. We didn't talk about that.
So you bench Kirk, and this will be the final thing. We'll wrap it up. You bench Kirk. You bring in why am I
Penix?
Thank you, Jesus, because I was thinking. Yeah, thank you. I'm forgetting all the rookies.
Yeah.
So you bring in Penix. They lose the last game that they needed to try and make a playoff push. Granted, the other team that they needed to lose.
Yeah.
The Bucks was it, and they want them winning anyways. So what are we doing future wise? Because there's been talks about them even trading
Cousins.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was the owner or who came out and said something, but they were like, "Yeah, we're okay with like keeping Kirk as a backup." Like that's an expensive backup. Like, yeah, you're probably going to owe him the money anyway because no team is going to take on that whole contract. But I'm like, they just mismanaged the whole thing. You sign the guy and you get Penix, and Penix looked okay. Like the first game, he looked a little rocky, but he kind of started coming into his own towards the last two games. But like, yeah, what are you doing, man?
So if they trade him, they're still going to be paying him because
because like I said,
it's guaranteed money
unless they can get a team that would take on like
the
40 or 50 million of it, like split it.
So sort of kind of like the Stephon situation where they traded him and then they dumped the Bills, or the Texans were able to. No, I think the Bills were able to get out of paying him the rest of what he was owed.
Yeah, because I think
believe the Texans picked that up.
Yeah.
So they were just completely washed their hands of that contract.
Yeah, they took because he's a free agent after this year. So I think there was like 18 or 20 million owed, something decent. And I think Houston took all of it on.
Okay.
But with the thing with Kirk is like he didn't really show you enough to like. I mean, who's going to take him? Like, would Cleveland take him? You don't even know if you're going to get. I mean, there's just not a team that's going to pay him what the Falcons paid him, and they're going to absorb all that. So it's like, yeah, you could keep him, but like, yeah, then you're paying like hundreds of millions of dollars to have him sit on the bench.
Right.
They just really mismanaged it, but like
another quarterback conundrum, bro.
Another one.
I'm telling you. So,
and he has the same syndrome with the Achilles. Like I do know that he's probably favoring that Achilles. Like he's thinking about it.
You have to, bro.
You do, and it's the same thing too. And I'll give Aaron Rodgers a little credit.
He tried.
He tried. He got a little bit better as the season went on, as far as like awareness and everything. I think because the Achilles, he kind of locked his mind into it.
And he rushed the hell out of his rehab. Like again, when I tore my Achilles, I mean, a lot of the rehab is when you go and the therapy, and a lot of it is on your own. So
100%.
I know he was doing a lot of stuff on his own to even get to the fact where it was no longer tight.
Yeah.
And like basically the stuff I was experiencing, like I want to say he rushed it in a way. Just
because remember last year it was like they were close to playoff contention. Zach Wilson kept him in it, and then he was like, "No, I'm going to try to get back for the playoffs." I'm like, "You don't turn around from the Achilles in 5 months and come back."
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely rushed it, and he is his own entity. I know he's a head case, but the Achilles thing is definitely something that's hurting, I think, Kirk. But like, I just don't know what you do because I don't think there's a team that's taken on the contract. And is he going to be happy sitting on the bench? I'm sure he feels like he has more to give. So then you have that issue. And Kirk's not the last person that's probably going to go in there and be like, trade me. I hate you people. He's, Mr. Wholesome and all that stuff. But yeah, they're a mess. I don't know what you do because the team's good. Drake London's there. Pitts underperforms from once in a while, but they're stuck.
I think he need to get out of there. Like, what was it? Jonnu Smith?
Yeah.
Because he was on a bad team, and he finally.
It's crazy how Jonnu Smith played good in Tennessee,
mm-hmm.
goes to the Patriots. They didn't use him right.
Mm-hmm.
They send him to Atlanta. He didn't get used right there either, and then he goes to Miami and he plays like he did in Tennessee. So
mm-hmm.
it's all situational, but yeah, they need to get him out of there.
Yeah,
just cut ties. And I don't even think they have the heart to release him because it's like, what are you going to release him and owe him all that money to sit on the couch?
Right.
Another mess.
Well, good thing this is not our problem.
No, we're not having to deal with it.
If we were in those situations, we wouldn't have put ourselves in those situations in the first place. We would have. Man, I don't know anymore. But we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you, DE. Thank you, Miles. Thank you, everybody who stopped by and chilled in the background. We will be back next Wednesday 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for some more sports. We will have a divisional round to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We will have college, the Natty to talk about.
Yeah, because that's wrapping up Monday, so we'll talk about that. Conference championship preview as well. Yep.
We will have. We were also around the corner from March Madness.
Yeah,
I believe sometime next month, brackets will start being issued, and we also have. I know hockey is still going on. I know we haven't really been speaking about hockey. I'll be honest with you, I just haven't really been home to really catch games.
Yeah, the Bruins are in a bit of a mess. I mean, it's not. I'm not like a fair weather with it. Hockey's never been like my favorite sport, so it's like if they're doing really good, then I'll kind of keep up with it. But they haven't done enough for me to even pay attention.
Honestly, I typically just watch hockey when it's like the off season for basketball and football.
Yeah,
or
get the play Stanley Cup playoffs are always entertaining.
Yeah, I definitely tune in around there. But
then we got baseball. And spring training is going to start at the beginning of March,
and then we have the USFL loading up around the same time.
That one. It's going to hit a weird point, as it always does when football ends. But
and then we'll have Summer League, and then definitely probably watching more wrestling. Have you been? I know Miles been watching it on Netflix. Have you tuned in on Netflix?
I caught I can't bring myself to sit through the shows anymore.
Okay,
but I know a decent amount. I think Travis Scott was at the first one. I don't know if you saw that. He lit up in the crowd, and they just let it go. Pat McAfee made some funny comment on it, but
so since they're on Netflix now, I'm not watching. I'm sorry. I think anything that had anything to do with Netflix after the fight.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I'm just not even gonna bother.
Well, it's weird too because like they structure the shows. I think Triple H had said like they're not all going to be 3 hours. Some of them will be like 3 hours and 20 minutes, and then some of them will be like 2 hours. Some of them will be like I'm like, so you don't really have like a structured time for how long it's going to go. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'll just wait till they get back on TV.
Honestly, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you have Netflix. I don't think they're not going to cut you off the air.
Right.
You can let it go as long as you want to. Right. So like, you should get everything in you want to get in.
Yeah. Nah, I'm honestly just going to wait till they get back on cable.
Yeah.
At that point, I don't really see this being a long-term move. If it is, then oh well. I stopped watching.
Yeah.
I just see a bunch of stuff on my phone every time I get on Instagram, and then I'll see clips, or then I'll get notifications that a pay-per-view is going on at like Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. I was like, bro, like,
well, because they run the pay-per-views now, which I didn't even know the track record of it, but I guess they're doing like a lot of overseas ones,
right?
Like the Royal Rumble next year is going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Okay,
so it's going to be at like 6 a.m. or something crazy.
Okay, so that makes sense why it's like 1 p.m. our time and I'm getting like wrestling notifications.
Yeah, they'll throw them on like random things. It's just because like Saudi Arabia pays them like stupid money.
Right. So and we did talk about that too.
We did, yeah, the blood money thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, so because they were interested in the company as well. So
yeah, that was back when they were selling it.
Yeah. Oof. Well, everything is gone down the drain.
Yeah.
But again, definitely appreciate it. And lastly, thank you for all those who subscribed to the channel. We had 3 new subs.
Oh, yeah, we do appreciate that. Yeah. Any way you guys can support, we obviously always appreciate it.
So thank everybody again for the new subs and everybody for watching. And we will be back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are out of here.
See you guys.